Welcome back, everyone. I'm Eric from Rare Candy, and today we are back with some more battle styles testing. This time, trying out, of course, the new Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, and also a little bit more interesting deck over there on the right too. We have a Necrozma V Porygon Z deck. I actually did post deck profiles for both these decks already on the channel as well. So if you guys do want to get caught up on the list that we're playing with here, and want to know some more in-depth thoughts about those, we'll have links down below in the description. So yeah, I was actually planning on having this video up a little bit earlier, but I've been a little bit under the weather and it's been kind of hard to record commentary for this video for a couple days now. So I appreciate you guys' patience, and hopefully, hopefully my voice and throat is, recovered enough to, do a decent job today here. But over on the left, you actually have yours truly. I'm going to be playing the new Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. And over on the right, we have fellow PokeTuber and content creator Gyroshan. He's going to be the one playing the Necrozma deck. So this should be an interesting matchup. Of course, the Necrozma is going to be able to hit the Rapid Strike Urshifu deck for weakness. But I do play a Jirachi GX, which we will have to be on the lookout for. That is now, I will have to protect my Urshifus from being hit for weakness. But it looks like I am getting to go first here, and we see that Jirachi GX in my deck right away, so I could consider that, but my hand is actually not looking too good. So it looks like I actually might be just debating going for a Crobat V to refill my hand size a little bit here. So just taking a peek through my deck, just seeing what all we have access to. But yeah, so against Sean's deck, I definitely want to get an attachment this turn. That way I can use that Gmax Rapid Flow attack on my VMAX next turn, ideally. So here it looks like I have a Zigzagoon, and it looks like I'm going to just trying to play down my hand a little bit before I okay, kind of wondering what just happened here. I switched. Oh, I had a switch in hand. I thought I scoop up net my Urshifu for a second. But looks like I'm going to save my other scoop up net. Looks like I am debating about that. Then just going to go for a Crobat to draw 4 cards. Okay, so I do hit energy, but unfortunately my hand is not really looking too good beyond this. So there's going to be another Urshifu, and I think there's actually a case to be made for just playing down my whole hand here, because more than likely I think Sean's going to go for this Gengar Mimikyu GX's Horror House GX attack, which will prevent me from playing cards in my hand next turn. So I think maybe I should have just played down my hand a little bit to prevent this Gengar Mimikyu maybe from doing more damage on the following turn as well. But it looks like, was that a quick ball Sean played? I wasn't paying too much attention. I think he quick balled away this research, and he's going to search his deck for a basic Pokemon. So depending on what is in his hand, we will see probably either a Porygon or maybe a Necrozma. So we'll have to see what route he is going to go. It looks like Sean is eyeing himself down a Porygon here, which of course makes sense. He wants to be able to get his Porygons out as soon as possible. Okay, but looks like he might be thinking about an Oranguru. Okay, so maybe he has research and he wants to protect a resource. Okay, so he's going to communicate, going for a Porygon. Okay, I think I know what he's going to do here. He has a rare candy in hand. So more than likely, he's probably going to try to use this Primate Wisdom ability to put the rare candy on top of his deck, then research. That way he doesn't have to discard the rare candy. If I was a betting man, I think that's what he's going to end up doing here. But right now, Sean's turn is decent so far. He just needs to find himself an energy, and that's really about it. His deck really has a pretty low maintenance turn 1 here. He was very fortunate enough to start the Gengar Mimikyu, so now he doesn't have to expend additional resources to try to get it into the active. He just needs a Psychic Energy or one of his special energies, and he will be able to, start locking me for a turn. Okay, so he's going to bench a Necrozma V and just go for a research. So he has Rare Candy, he has Porygon Z, and he does have the Aurora Energy, so he actually will be able to get the Horror House GX and prevent me from playing cards. So this is a really strong attack, I think, in this Necrozma deck that we have here. Just because, with the stage 2, you need that extra turn to keep your basic Pokemon safe. That way they can evolve on the next turn into your stage 2s. And so the Gengar Mimikyu actually has just been a really sick inclusion in this list. I've really been liking it a lot. And that is going to be, pretty much all she wrote for Sean's turn. I don't really think he needs to do too much else here. And yeah, just going to go for the GX attack, and now I can't really do a whole lot on my turn. And now I'm in a spot where I can't get down my attachment, I can't evolve. What am I going to do here? So it looks like just a pass back over to Sean, which is definitely a bummer for me. So there you go. He has the Porygon 2, and of course Porygon Z, and my mistake there. But Porygon Z has the Crazy Code ability. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it allows you to attach as many special energies as you like from hand to your Pokemon. So it's kind of like Frostmoth, but of course just for special energy. So since Psychic Pokemon don't really have the greatest energy acceleration right now, this is going to be one of the only ways we can really get these Psychic Pokemon powered up quickly, using things like Aurora Energy and the Horror Psychic Energy as well. So we'll have to see what route, Sean's going to go here. I'm not sure if he has a supporter already in hand, but, if he were able to play like a boss's orders on my Urshifu and just knock that out, that would be so annoying. We'll have to see what he's going to do. So it looks like he is going to go for a Crobat. Okay, there is going to be a Research. We see a Dedenne as well. I mean, he could even try to dig and hit a boss. I don't think that's actually an awful, potential play. So here he is going to discard a Rhyperior V. I actually kind of want to see him dig. He has the Research, but I kind of want to see him just go for the Dedenne GX, try to find the boss's orders. Maybe that's a little bit greedy, but if he is able to do that and just knock out this Urshifu with the energy right away, that's going to be huge. But here he is going to opt just to go for the Research. But here you can see he would have actually hit the boss's orders. So yeah, that would have been, that would have been really good. But if he's able to, oh, he actually has Mew in hand. So if he can get down Mew, that would also be probably a good card to get down as well. Yeah, so that's definitely good. That's going to kind of shut down my whole Rapid Strike Urshifu deck. And, this is actually a matchup I really wanted to try to test out because I wanted to see how Urshifu would do, when it goes against Psychic Pokemon, since that's what it's weak to, and when it goes against things like Mew, because Mew is such an easy card to tech in. Rapid Strike Urshifu is seeing a lot of early hype right now, and Mew's just such an easy counter to dealing with that powerful Gmax Rapid Flow sniping attack it has. But here, it looks like Sean's just going to use Poltergeist. It makes me reveal my hand. It does 50 for every trainer card there. So that was actually another reason why, kind of a bad move on my part, not playing down my hand more on my first turn there. So I definitely should have done that in hindsight. That was 100% my bad. Okay, but there's going to be a Rapid Strike Urshifu that I have in hand. That's going to be good. Okay, there's going to be a Quick Ball. Getting rid of a Telescopic Sight. Probably going to go for a Dedenne GX. Makes sense. My hand was pretty bad here. So if I'm able to maybe like boss up this Mew, I think ideally I find Boss's Orders and Jirachi GX. I think those are the big things I want to see here. Okay, and I do have the boss. That's actually really good. So I'm just going to scoop up net the Zigzagoon. Oh, wait. I need to be careful about the order I do this. So I need to evolve first because the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX does 150 if it becomes your active after being on the bench. I need to evolve first. Very important there. But I'm going to get down my Rapid Strike Energy and let's see. Ooh, unfortunately, I do not have a Quick Ball or a way to get a basic. So unfortunately, my Urshifu is just gonna kind of be nuked by this Necrozma or this Gengar Mimikyu on this next turn. I have the new Fan of Waves, which can remove one of Sean's energies, but the issue I have right now is that, I mean, he still has so much energy in play, he's gonna be able to take a knockout with basically whatever he wants. But here I am going to take out this Mew, which is definitely an important card to get rid of, though, just because, of course, that bench barrier attack is going to stop my Gmax Rapid Flow sniping attack. So, yeah, all Sean has to do is just attack. He's going to be able to get 3 prizes, and then from there, he's just a Boss's Orders away from winning at that point. So, yeah, he's in a really fantastic spot here. See, I think we see a Chaotic Swell. There's a Horror Psychic Energy. Okay, looks like he has a Chaotic Swell. I mean, he really doesn't need to do too much here at this point. He could Quick Ball, try to start setting up another attacker, but I mean, he has pretty much everything he needs right now to, I think, close out this game. He's got a boss for the next turn. So I think I just want to see him take a knockout here on this Urshifu VMAX, and then go for the boss on a Dedenne or Crobat on the next turn, and wrap things up from there. So now, I think I might have even preferred Sean to attack with Gengar Mimikyu. The only reason I say that is because he wants to boss next turn, and if, well, I guess it's fine because I actually have no way at knocking out this Necrozma, so it's actually fine. So never mind there. Looks like Sean is going to quick ball, maybe going for another Porygon. But, you know, at this point, I'm not even too worried about Sean's Porygons. He got all the value he really needs out of his Porygon Z. He has plenty of energy in play, so I'm not really too worried about that. So it looks like he has an Oricorio GX he might be going for. I actually kind of like that option. Of course, Dance of Tribute is going to allow him to draw 3 cards if one of his Pokemon was knocked out on my last turn, which of course his Mew was. So that could be nice, but yeah, Sean's in a good spot. He doesn't really need another Porygon. He doesn't really need any other attackers. I think this Gengar, Mimikyu, and this Necrozma can kind of close out a game from here. Okay, but he is going to get down a Cramorant, so that's fine. And he is going to get down an Aurora Energy on it as well. Going to get rid of a Necrozma V. Seems like a good discard. So here he's just trying to, I think, threaten a Spit Shot for game if I Marnie him or something like that. So here I'm just debating, like, what do I want to do here? I'm just trying to think, am I trying to go for a Gale Thrust this turn, or am I trying to go for a G-Max Rapid Flow? So my path to victory right now is to deal with Gengar, Mimikyu, and a 2-prizer, since I still have 5 prizes left. And man, I'm not sure how I'm going to tank through that many attacks to get there, but you know, I think that's kind of what we have to do right now. I almost feel like my path to victory right now is to G-Max Rapid Flow this turn, and then next turn come in with another Rapid Strike Urshifu. But my issue is I need Mew, I need Jirachi GX, and I need another Rapid Strike Urshifu. I just don't have enough Pokemon, or I'm sorry, enough bench spaces for all these Pokemon. You can see here I'm a little bit conflicted if I want to get down another Rapid Strike Urshifu, but again, the issue is I kind of need to be able to set up another attacker here. And I think this is kind of a checkmate scenario. It's crazy. Just after that one Horror House GX, the entire game sort of turned around. I think my only real misstep here was potentially not playing down my hand a little bit more on my first turn there. Other than that, I mean, it's just been Sean's deck popping off and doing everything it needs to do. I think not playing down my hand turn 1 and then whiffing the Jirachi GX on the following turn was really big. But let's see here. I'm going to get rid of Octillery. As you can see, you know, Sean did take out my Remoraid on his turn 2, I believe it was. So no point in it actually trying to set up Octillery. Like I said, at this point, I also do need Jirachi GX. It's going to be the big card I really need to find at this point. Yeah, so there's Jirachi GX. And so the reason that ability on Jirachi GX is so important, of course, is because it is going to shut off Psychic Weakness for any Psychic Weak Pokemon in play. Of course, most notably to protect my Urshifu against those Gengar Mimikyus, those Necrozma Vs, or potentially any other Psychic attackers that my opponent might happen to be playing. And it looks like at this point, I'm just going to choose to scoop up this Game 1 that we have here, which kind of makes sense based on how this Game 1 has been going. You know, I'm a little bit too far behind. Sean's start was just way too overpowering. Again, you know, having the turn 1 Horror House GX, having the follow-up knockout on the next turn, for me, not playing down my hand enough, so that was on me, like I said, and then whiffing the Jirachi GX on the next turn. Yeah, it was just in a bad spot. Sean also had the Cramorant chilling on the bench, ready to pick off my Dedenne at any given point as well, so yeah, we're just going to pick that one up, go over to a Game 2, and try to make a comeback here and eventually take this best of 3 series. So it looks like I am probably going to choose to go first if I just had to imagine here. I definitely need to get set up a little bit. Okay, so luckily Sean did not start his Gengar Mimikyu this turn. Very thankful for that. I'm going to kick things off with a Rapid Strike Urshifu V. You know, I have plenty of energy in hand. Just going to get down a Rapid Strike energy right out the gate here. Of course, if you guys aren't too familiar with the Rapid Strike energy, it can only be applied to Rapid Strike Pokemon, and it provides 2 energy, those being a Water/Fighting energy. And it looks like I'm debating, do I get down this Air Balloon? And I was just thinking, how afraid of a Horror House GX am I? And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to get down the Air Balloon. I know Sean has a Tool Scrapper in the list he's playing, so I have to worry about that. but after that first game, I think I just had a little bit of PTSD and was afraid of the Gengar. So let's see what Sean's going to do over here. He does have a quick ball. Ooh, yeah, he actually has a pretty good hand. He has the air balloon, so he can actually go straight for the Gengar Mimikyu right away here. But I'm actually not sure if he had a supporter in his hand. And if he did not, we actually might have to see him forgo the Gengar Mimikyu and set up, or go for something like a Dedenne or a Crobat or something like that. And it's a little bit unfortunate because he has like everything else he would really want to see. He has, I think, the Porygon, he has the Horror Psychic Energy as well. But here he is going to just go for the Dedenne GX. You know, like I said, he could just go for the Gengar Mimikyu, but that would leave him with a dead hand for future turns here. But luckily, you know, he does have this air balloon. He does have a Ranger, so he can actually protect one of his resources if he chooses to. I kind of want to see him protect the... is that a Horror Psychic Energy or a Aurora? But either way, he is going to just choose to discard his hand here. Okay, and that's actually pretty good. So he has the Gengar Mimikyu, insane, absolutely busted, has the Tool Scrapper to go with it. So basically all of my worst fears are becoming realized right in front of me. So let's see, he has the Aurora Energy, and probably we're going to see him go for a Crobat here to refill his hand a little bit more. And he has actually not played a draw supporter yet either this turn. So yeah, Sean's having a really sick turn one. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty bad right now. I'm feeling pretty scared of what I'm going to have to deal with here. Okay, so he has Chaotic Swell, also great. That can prevent me from getting down Tower of Waters or Martial Arts Dojo. Let's see, he is just going to retreat. And like I said, he's not played a draw supporter, so he could even still... okay, he is going to just play... or use the Primate Wisdom ability and then just go for the Horror House GX, of course. That is going to prevent me from playing cards my next turn. Man, and if my Mew goes down, that is going to be really bad here, because Mew's going to be very important at making sure that Cramorant can't snipe my Jirachi GX. So yeah, this just overall kind of feels bad over here. But it looks like Sean's going to go for the boss's orders, just trying to gamble that I have enough trainer cards to take a knockout. So luckily for me, I only have 2 in my hand right now. So my Urshifu is not going to go down. So this was a little bit of a gamble that didn't quite pay off for Sean. I think knocking out this Mew long term probably would have been a little bit better, but hey, still doing 200 is really good here. And here I'm just trying to think, what do I do? I have a lot of energy I'm going to have to discard here. So I have a switch. So I'm kind of conflicted here because I can... There's a few things I could do. I could potentially gust up the Porygon, just knock that out, but then the rest of my field is in really bad shape. So it just kind of looks like I'm weighing my different options right now. Like, I'm kind of thinking about, do I go for a defensive boss's orders and try to maybe snipe this Mew for a few turns? But yeah, as you guys can see, I'm just going to go for the Professor's Research. Definitely think this is the better play. Sean's less play is, I think, like 14, 15 energy. So yeah, more likely had I done that, he would have just been able to retreat back into this Gengar Mimikyu and knock me out here. So yeah, looking at this hand, I do have a ton of trainer cards, so I will have to try to do my best to play those down if I want to make sure I don't get knocked out on Sean's next turn here. So let's see what I'm going to end up doing with this hand. So here looks like I'm going to go for a Quick Ball, discarding this Professor's Research in the process. Here's just trying to think, what do I do? This is such an awkward spot to be in. Here I'm going to get down a Remoraid, just because, as you guys saw, game 1, I was not able to ever set up Octillery. And here I'm just trying to think, what do I do? And if I remember correctly, I think this turn, I played down my hand to a point where, Gengar Mimikyu actually couldn't even do damage to this Mew, if I remember right. So here I'm just debating, do I want to... Like, what do I want to get down here? But here I'm just going to discard both my tool cards. That actually does kind of hurt a little bit because Telescopic Sight and Karate Belt are both really good cards here. But I need to just make sure that I can't get knocked out. That's the big thing. So I'm going to go for the Rapid Strike Urshifu and probably a Crobat. But I think I should probably just grab the Dene if I'm going to. Actually, no, Crobat's probably fine just in case of Cramorant Spit Shot. So, but basically, I'm playing down my hand to nothing. But I still have a way to draw cards if I need to. But here I'm just going to use Psi Power on Mew and just put 3 damage counters on Sean's Mew over here. There's going to be a research. So very good that Sean did not have a Marnie to refill my hand size. But yeah, I'm feeling, I'm still not feeling great about the spot that I'm in. But I'm doing my best to play around what Sean is allowing me to work with here. But I just need to take out this Mew because if I can't use G-Max Rapid Flow, I'm just a deck that does 150. And that's not nearly as impressive, so. So it looks like, what is Sean going to do here? Now, I don't think he's used Primate Wisdom on his Oranguru, so he could actually try to put something on top of his deck in order to try to draw a rare candy. Okay, it does not. It just draws a Ditto V, it looks like. But at least this Gengar Mimikyu GX is fully powered up at this point. So he can at least still attack with this. He kind of knows at this point that I don't really have trainer cards in my hand. So he could even just hard retreat into this Mew and take a knockout because, Mew is most known for its bench barrier ability, but it does have an okay attack. Psi Power for Colorless Energy. You get to put 3 damage counters anywhere you want, so he's going to put 2 on that Urshifu to knock it out and draw 2 prizes, which is actually pretty good. He's going to trade 2 prizes for 1 basically, because he's going to accept this Mew is going to go down, but at least this way he can grab himself some prizes in the process. Now, one thing is a little bit of a bummer. I did have to discard some energy on my last turn. I think 3 energies. So already being down 1 Rapid Strike energy and 3 other basic fightings, and 1 being on this Mew. Running out of energy might be something I have to worry about in this game. So that kind of needs to be in the back of my mind here. So I'm just debating, do I actually play down Crobat? But I'm going to say no. I mean, this Gengar Mimikyu is one of the only threats, and if I don't have trainer cards in my hand, it can't do damage. So it looks like Sean's just going to promote this Oranguru since it does have that air balloon. And if I can just buy a turn here without much happening to me, that would be really good. I just need to turn off from getting hit with a bunch of pressure from, Sean's side of the field. So if he doesn't have a Porygon Z this turn, he's not actually going to be able to attack with this Gengar Mimikyu. So we'll have to see what he ends up doing. Does he have a way to draw cards in his hand? I think he has a research, but he might not want to discard all of those resources. That might be something he is kind of wondering about at this point. He might even be checking how many energy he's gone through at this point as well. Okay, he is going to get down a Porygon. Okay, he's going to get an air balloon as well. Looks like he's thinking about attaching it to the Gengar Mimikyu in case he does have to hard retreat again. I don't hate that. I don't think it's a bad idea. And then from there, it looks like he's just going to go for a Professor's Research and refill his hand to a fresh hand of 7 here. Okay, and still no sign of rare candy Porygon Z. He does have communication and stuff like that, but no rare candies to get out this Porygon Z. So let's see what he's going to do at this point. He's just going to quick ball away this Rhyperior V. Seems like a good idea. Rhyperior is a pretty good card for certain matchups, but this is definitely not one of them. So it looks like he's just going to go for a Cramorant V. Just trying to thin his deck out a little bit more, just to help probably draw into those rare candies and those cards he needs to get his whole Porygon strategy up and running. But this next turn, I think I really do need to start getting energy attachments down on this Rapid Strike Urshifu. So that is something I do need to, keep in mind here. So I'm just going to draw for turn. I do have a Boss's Orders. There is actually a world where maybe even I try to boss and snipe with Psi Power some more. But I might just have to go for a Karina's Focus here. I forget what I did this turn, but I think I need to get down energy. Like, I think I really do need to try to make that happen. So it looks like I'm going to go for a... Looks like I'm debating going for Crobat here. So I'm not sure what I'm trying to hit off of this guy. Okay, there's a Rapid Strike Energy. That's definitely good. I have Telescopic Sight. Do I actually play the Karina at this point as well? That would draw me some more cards. I was kind of worrying if it's going to find me additional trainer cards. Now, I could also just retreat and try to knock out, for example, a Dedenne on the bench. I don't think that's like the worst thing either. And if that's the case, all I have to do is go through this one Gengar Mimikyu at this point. But I don't have Jirachi GX in play, and that's the thing that makes me hesitant to do something like that. So there is a world where maybe even I boss up the Gengar Mimikyu and get the first hit in on that. I don't hate that either. So it looks like I am just going to go for the Karina, unfortunately. Okay, so I do have Pokemon Communication. Definitely want to play that. Probably set up Octillery if I just had to guess. Or could go for the Jirachi GX. I do have this other Jirachi on the bench, so if I ever do need a way to draw cards, I do still have access to that. So let's see what I'm ultimately going to settle on here. I mean, I could even go for a Dedenne and dump my whole hand if I really want to. Okay, it looks like that's what I'm trying to debatably go for. Okay, but I'm going to go for the Octillery, and while I'm in there, I can use that ability on Octillery, search my deck for any Rapid Strike card, put it into my hand. So it looks like I'm just going to preemptively grab myself a Rapid Strike Energy. So I imagine this turn maybe... I'm trying to think what I actually want to do here. I could knock out this Oranguru, but I don't think I'm actually attacking with Rapid Strike Urshifu. So I think I have a couple options in terms of where I might want to get down damage with this Mew. I might be trying to plan out some future attacks on this Gengar Mimikyu. I'm trying to think if the damage matters, because Gengar Mimikyu is resistant to fighting, and that could affect if I do two-shot this thing. I think there's also a world where I just retreat into the Vivid Voltage Jirachi and just try to set up a little bit more. But let's just run through the math. Gengar Mimikyu has 240 HP. If I do Gale Thrust, that's what, 130 plus 100 if I'm attacking it in the active with Gmax Rapid Flow. I mean, so there is a world where maybe going for a Psy Power does make some degree of sense here. Okay, looks like I'm just going to put 20 damage on the Gengar Mimikyu and 10 on the Dedenne. So the Dedenne is actually kind of relevant because with Telescopic Sight, I can knock that out with the Gmax Rapid Flow. So it looks like right now my path to victory I'm trying to chart out for myself is to deal with this one Dedenne and the Gengar Mimikyu, and that will be the game. That looks like what I am attempting to go for here. Now, again, sort of the rough spot about this, though, is the fact that this Mew is going to go down. I don't have any Pokemon Recovery in this list either. Alright, so let's see what Sean's going to do here. Bring up the Gengar Mimikyu. Is he just going to knock out this Mew? He has a boss's orders as well, so he could actually bring up my Rapid Strike Urshifu. Yeah, it looks like that is what he is going to do. So this Mew has been, you know, this Mew has been saved a lot of this game so far. We've seen Sean avoid attacking into it twice, and luckily I only had 2 trainer cards in my hand, so that means I am going to tank the hit from this Gengar Mimikyu. Now, the one thing I am not excited about at this point is I'm going to have to research away 2 boss's orders, and I don't think I knew this at the time, but if I remember correctly, I think these were my last 2 boss's orders in deck. I either prized one or already discarded another, if I remember correctly here. Okay, so just trying to think, what route do we go with here? Okay, gonna get down Martial Arts Dojo just to bump the Chaotic Swell. Okay, gonna use Phantom Waves, getting rid of that Horror Psychic Energy. So if Sean does not have a way to get his Porygon up and running next turn, there is a chance that he does whiff an attack. Alright, so here I am going to play an Escape Rope. So, of course, Escape Rope is a kind of an old favorite returning back into the game. Both players have to switch their active Pokemon, but Sean does have to choose what he wants to switch into first. So here's just debating, what does he want to give me? He could give me a Porygon, could do an Oranguru, could do the Dedenne as well. So let's see what route he wants to go here. I think a Oranguru is actually maybe one of his better options, but here he has... because there is a world where if he didn't promote the Oranguru, I just knock out the 2 Porygons and snipe behind whatever he left up. Here I am going to promote this Jirachi, be able to draw a couple more cards here with this Dreamy Revelation ability. You know, I'm really not... Well, I actually could even... If I'm seeing correctly, I think my whole hand is non-trainer cards, so I think I could actually even just go for a Scoop Up Net and just deny him being able to do damage to me at all. So that does look like what I am going to go for here. So now I'm in a spot where I can get down this Jirachi GX, and now I have no trainer cards in hand, meaning that Sean actually cannot do damage to me with his Gengar Mimikyu. So here I have kind of an interesting spot that I'm in. And I do remember this is a very important turn of the game. You know, Sean's not really been doing too well at getting set up in terms of his Porygon Zs and all that stuff. So I'm in a spot now where I can say, I don't think you have a way at getting these things set up. You've not really been drawing that well. I can forgo knocking out your Porygons and knock out this Dedenne and get 2 prizes and soften up this Gengar for the final attack next turn. Or I can knock out both your Porygons, denying you Porygon Z. And so as you can see, I went for the riskier play here, getting rid of Dedenne. So this definitely could come back to bite me. It just kind of depends what Sean has to work with. Like I said, his last turn, he was struggling to sort of find what he needed. And I kind of am looking at that and saying, hey, I don't think your hand is good. I don't think you can draw into what you need based on your actions last turn. So you can have your Porygons. I don't think you can evolve. And instead, I'm just going to go for the cheap prizes and force you to attack into me with this Gengar Mimikyu and get knocked out. Because right now, this Gengar Mimikyu cannot actually tank another Gale Thrust attack. So that is kind of what I am saying to him at this point. So this is definitely a risky play on my part. If he does end up popping off this turn, I'm going to be in a bad spot. But if he doesn't, then, you know, I'm kind of okay with that. Now, one thing that is unfortunate about the spot that I'm in for my next turn, my prizes off of that Dedenne were not too good. So I actually don't have a way to switch currently. But if I have my Tower of Waters in deck, I can potentially search that out with Octillery. But here, Sean is going to get down a Necrozma V, and he might just start manually powering that up. And he does have the research. Okay, so this is big. Okay, it looks like he did not draw into the Porygon Z, but I think he still has access to Primate Wisdom, if I remember correctly. Looks like he is just checking how many cards are going to be left in his deck at this point as well. And here it looks like he is going to Primate Wisdom, and he top decks the Pokemon Communication to be able to get into the Porygon Z. So I'm instantly regretting my last turn now because, you know, I was kind of placing my bet on the fact that Sean's hand was kind of awkward and he didn't do much on his previous turn. So the fact that he was able to make all this happen and get the Porygon Z into play, this is really going to punish me hard, I think, because now he can set up his, you know, his Gengar Mimikyu, his Necrozma V, and it's really not even going to be a big deal for him at this point to chain his attackers for the rest of the game. And I'm also in a bad spot now because, again, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I'm out of boss's orders. Or I either prized one or I discarded one prior to the 2 I discarded on the previous turn. So if he can set up this Necrozma this turn, this Gengar Mimikyu is just going to be safe on the bench, sort of. You know, until I can power up another G-Max Rapid Flow at least. So basically I'm just one G-Max Rapid Flow away from winning the game at this point. So here it looks like he is going to just retreat into this Necrozma V, and he's going to be able to just take a KO here on this Rapid Strike Urshifu. And now I'm, you know, I'm feeling a little less confident about my position. So all I need is one Rapid Strike energy, and that's going to be the game. But I do remember this game. I do have my last one prized, and I've already gone through 3, I believe, because I attached one to my first Rapid Strike Urshifu V. I used 2 on this most recent VMAX, and so now I'm literally out of energies. I'm literally just a Rapid Strike energy, I think, away from winning. So just going to go for the Tool Scrapper here. Just playing down my hand a little bit if possible. Because I think under normal circumstances, I would just retreat into Rapid Strike Urshifu attach, and then just pass, and then next turn use Octillery to find my Rapid Strike energy, and that would be the game. So here you can see 2 Rapid Strike energy, 3 Rapid Strike energy in the discard. And now I'm kind of thinking, well, what do I do? Because I forget at this point if I was aware the energy was prized or not, but I have to think, well, what do I even do at this point if the Rapid Strike energy is prized? So I'm just going to have to retreat into this Jirachi. Okay, I am going to get a Martial Arts Dojo. Going to use Rapid Strike Search, and here you can see I am literally out of Rapid Strike energies at this point. Now, the one thing that is going my way, Sean is actually very low on energy. He's gone through a good bit of energy at this point. So if I can actually deal with this one Necrozma V, then there is a world where maybe he actually can't attack with Gengar Mimikyu. So here I'm going to get down a Fighting Energy, get down the Martial Arts Dojo, and then probably just hit this thing for what? Because it's going to be 150 plus the 40 from Dojo since I'm behind on prizes. That's 190. Then minus 30 for resistance. So should be 160 that I'm going to hit this Necrozma for if I am doing my math correctly here. So I do need to do 60 more damage on the next turn as well. So I need a big top deck because, yeah, my hand's not too good. I need a way to switch and knock out this Necrozma. But we see here that Sean does have the Aurora energy that he can potentially just throw down on this Gengar Mimikyu. So that feels kind of bad. I mean, if that's the case, it's like almost game over at this point. My only saving grace would be that if I could play down my hand enough, like I need a switching card and I need to be able to play down my hand in terms of trainer cards. So this is coming down to the wire. I mean, I definitely could still win this, but not having the Rapid Strike energy in deck just makes this so much harder. Because otherwise I would just search out the Rapid Strike energy, knock out Gengar Mimikyu on this next turn, and that would be the end of it. But let's see what Sean's going to do here. I definitely want to see him get down the Aurora energy on the Gengar Mimikyu. He just absolutely has to do that. But here's going to go for the Marnie. I'm actually curious as to why he's not choosing to attach to the Gengar Mimikyu. Does seem a little bit suspect. Yeah, not sure how I feel about this. So he is just going to Primate Wisdom here. And it's probably just going to do 220. Because again, I don't think I've even mentioned it, but the Necrozma does 100 plus 120 more if it has a special energy attached. So 220, since that Jirachi GX in play, denying the extra damage from weakness here. So it looks like, unfortunately, I just have to attach. Luckily, I do actually have a couple of pretty good cards here. I can actually play down my hand very low too, so I can Quick Ball, go for probably the Dene GX seems most likely. So it looks like I'm at 260 if I'm seeing correctly. I'm just trying to plan things out. So if I have if I can play down my hand to 0 and I get 2 trainer cards off of this knockout, then I lose. But otherwise, there is a world where I still end up winning this. There's going to be Dedenne. Looks like I'm trying to go for a similar play that I did earlier in the game. And I'm not sure really what I'm thinking about here too much. I probably should Rapid Strike search with Octillery as well, just to thin my deck a little bit more if possible too. But just debating what route I want to go here. Yeah, I seem really conflicted about something. Okay, I am going to shuffle up, so just going to go for the double switch here. Use the Rapid Strike Search, grab Octillery out of deck, so just thinning that out. Seems good. And so at this point, I just need... I have no trainer cards in hand. Well, Sean actually still needs energy as well. So this game's going to come down to the wire, but there I hit Marnie and Rapid Strike Energy. Okay, so I have the Rapid Strike Energy for game next turn if Sean doesn't have this KO. But the issue I have now is the Horror Psychic Energy on the Necrozma actually put my damage high enough to where Sean can take a KO. He just needs to find his... He literally just needs to find his Aurora Energy that he put at the bottom of his deck last turn. So, I mean, that could maybe come back to bite him here if he does with that. And here you can see he's counting all of his energy, just checking to see what he has access to left at this point. So it looks like he has 1 Horror Psychic Energy and 1 Aurora Energy as well. Okay, he has very few cards left, so a Marnie or a Research just wins him the game at this point, unfortunately, because you guys can see my hand. I drew into the Marnie. And yeah, he just needs to do 50 damage, and that's going to be the game. There you can see he does have the Horror Psychic Energy. And yeah, the Poltergeist is going to come in and narrowly take this game 2 for Sean. So you can see how bad prizing that last energy was. If I just didn't prize the Rapid Strike Energy, game 2 would have been wrapped up. But yeah, still kind of an exciting game 2. And kind of interesting to see how Rapid Strike Urshifu does against one of these Psychic decks, or a deck that plays Mew as well. Even with things like Jirachi GX in the deck as well, sometimes that isn't going to be enough. So yeah, very interesting to see how Rapid Strike Urshifu did under this kind of pressure, especially against a card and a deck a little bit more unconventional like this Necrozma V Porygon deck that we have here on display too. But yeah, guys, hope you did enjoy watching me get dumpstered by this Psychic deck. Of course, if you did, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever my next video does go up as well. And like I mentioned too, if you want to see the full deck list for both of the decks that were on display here today, we'll have links down below in the description to those. And if you want to take your support to the next level for this channel, you can of course become a patron at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or pick up some merch over at rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.